Cyber attacks as a weapon of real war. According to the Wall Street Journal, the Pentagon has a plan now to respond against attackers and hackers, treating cyber attacks as acts of war. That means real physical retribution for attacks on critical computer systems, bombs for bits, so to speak. So where are the threats coming from? Here are the list of numbers. Take a look. 12% of the attacks traffic comes from Russia, followed by Taiwan, Brazil, China, and the United States. Those are the latest numbers. Now, to be clear, not all those attacks are aimed at the U.S. Russia and China routinely trade cyber threats. Even Iran's nuclear grid fell victims to a virus. Well, these new rules don't focus on routine hacks and internet pranks. These are national security threats that we are talking about. So we wanted to put the question today to our stream team: should cyber attacks from other countries be considered acts of war? On the team today is former NATO Supreme Allied Commander General Wesley Clark and Noah Shachtman, the editor of Wired.com's national security blog, The Danger Room. General, let me start with you. How long has the Pentagon been working on this type of plan?
Well, we've been looking at this for more than 15 years. This is nothing new, but it is new now that it's being announced, and it's part of a broader U.S. plan to improve cybersecurity.
And Noah, what do you think the message is coming from this policy or the announcement of this policy?
Well, the message is don't mess with us. It's treating our networks like we treat our ports or our airports. They're matters of vital national interest. But how exactly you would pull off this retaliation and how you would know who to respond to, those are very open questions.
Do you have doubts about it, that it can be handled?
I don't know. Yeah, I do have doubts. Look, you can tell slowly but surely which computer might have been behind a particular attack, but which person was sitting at that computer, that is very hard to tell. And very often, the Pentagon is left with questions about: was it a hacker? Was it a criminal gang? Was it someone hired by a government, or was it a government itself that launched a particular attack? So the idea that we're going to go then, bomb Moscow in response to some virus or some worm, I think is a matter that we've got to take with extreme caution.
General, do you think the U.S. can pull this off? And is this an actual plan for using this? I mean, for actually taking action, or more of a deterrent?
No, it's not actually a plan. It's a policy. It says that it will be treated as an attack. And that means you could respond diplomatically, legally, you could respond with cyber, and you could respond with force. Now, can we actually do this? Well, first you enunciate the policy, then you bring together all the technology that's required to do it. Remember that we're not limited in this only to cyber detective work. We've got all the other national sources of information that would be pulled together to support a policy like this. And you may not be able to determine instantly who was at the computer and why they were there, but over a period of time and using all source intelligence, yes, I think we can do this. It may be that the best response is not to use force, but what this policy will say is that an attack is an attack, and it could be met by force, and it is a matter first of deterrence.
But do you get the sense, General, that there's an urgency for this? I mean, we know the Pentagon, their system was attacked not too long ago, but I mean, do you get a sense of urgency here?
I do, and I think it's long overdue. We've known these cyber vulnerabilities for years, and we've slowly ratcheted up our attention to it, but we haven't done so rapidly enough. And there are other nations who have strategic objectives that don't match ours, that use cyber attacks and theft of data and other things to advance their own national security. When they come after our national security, and it's not just a matter of data collection, but it's a matter of interfering in critical national infrastructure, then yes, it has to be viewed as an attack, and it's best to enunciate that up front so there can be no misunderstanding.
Noah, I mean, do you think that enforcement like this might leave the U.S. open to physical attacks from other nations who may claim cyber attacks are coming from here?
Yeah, it's kind of ironic that this policy is being announced now. Just the other day, Deputy Defense Secretary William Lynn, when asked whether the U.S. was behind Stuxnet, that's the worm that hit the Iranian nuclear facilities, he sort of gave a non-answer. But if the U.S. was behind it, according to this policy, we would open ourselves up to physical retribution. So it's something we've got to think carefully about. That said, I think the general is right on that we've got to announce a policy that, our networks, shouldn't be messed with. The question is whether the way they're going to be messed with some big catastrophic attack, some big attack on our network, or the slow theft of our intellectual property, of our bank account numbers, and of our money. To me, that's what seems to be going on here. And I think that we need to pay more attention to that sort of low, slow taking away of our money and property rather than this catastrophic hit.
All right. Interesting discussion. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, General. Appreciate your time.